Hey, y'all. Welcome to the When We Walk podcast, where this is a podcast where we discuss the questions we all ask as we walk through life. I'm Shireen.
I'm Micah.
Let's chat.
All right, Joran, what's the game for today?
All right, so have you ever played headbands?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, we have.
It's kind of like Heads Up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
it's similar, except you are the object and you have to say, am I blank? So it's
Oh,
kind of
got
like a
it,
mix
got it.
between that and like 20 questions.
Okay.
If you've played that.
So you have to ask questions.
Yes, and then you'll go back and forth and you'll ask and then you'll try to get to it. And then I'll set a timer for a few minutes and then
Okay.
if you can't get any of them, it's okay and you can.
Okay.
We
but-
both have one at the same time.
Yeah, so you'll both you're holding it in your forehead and
Okay.
you'll just take turns asking.
Okay, but
Okay.
you can't
So you
look
can't
at
see
yours.
your
Don't
own.
look. You cheat.
I had to grab the jar.
I know, but you cheat a lot.
And
Okay.
they're Christmas/Thanksgiving themed.
Okay.
You can't look at yours. You have it turned the
I
wrong
do.
way.
Oh, you said I had it turned the wrong way.
Did you
So I
see
flipped
it?
it. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well,
you said I had it like this. You said you have it turned the wrong way, so I flipped it over.
Okay, well, now you have to
That's
get
how
Luckily, we
little
have
you
plenty.
Oh,
so.
my
trust
word.
me.
I don't trust you
That's why I just said how little you trust me.
because you've cheated a
distrust.
lot in games.
Okay.
Okay, so we're putting it up.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yours is
Is my-
upside down.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for the audio listeners, you can guess as well. Since
Okay.
You won't
Okay.
be able to see. Okay.
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 All right,
Whoever wants to start.
All right. You go first.
Oh, I ask a
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
You said it's holiday?
Yes. So
Okay.
either Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Am I a food?
Yes.
Ooh, good.
Am I a food?
No.
Okay.
Can it only be yes or no questions?
I mean,
Okay.
you can get creative.
Once you say what you think you are you out if you get it wrong?
Whoever gets to it
No,
first.
you can. Yeah, whoever
Okay.
gets to it first.
All right.
Okay. Am I a Thanksgiving food?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Am I a Christmas tree?
You cheated!
No, I did not.
You
I
cheated!
promise you.
He asked that question right before he got it too.
I promise I did not cheat. Is that what I am?
Yes. You such a
did
cheater.
not.
Yes, you
I
are.
just thought if I'm not a food and I'm holiday, it's a pretty good guess.
Oh man, I should have made these harder.
No,
I
it's
thought this
okay.
would be hard.
Because this is how games go.
Oh, I genuinely did not cheat. Okay.
Okay.
There's only one left, so you do it.
Oh.
Did you see what the other one was that he had?
No.
Well, then do you want to do that one?
I'll
Oh,
hold
yeah.
it.
You hold that one.
I can't. You gotta eat
Then
it.
these might be easy too.
Don't look.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put mine up. Is it up?
Nope. It's the wrong way.
What does that mean? This way?
Yeah. And upside down. It's upside down.
Oh wow,
Yours
this is great.
Okay. You
All right.
ask.
Am I a food?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I a food?
No.
Okay.
Am I Christmas
Um,
food?
not usually.
Okay.
What did you say about my food situation? Am I or am I not?
You're not.
Okay. Am I an aesthetic?
What does that mean?
He doesn't know what that means. You
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Yeah, something that makes things look pretty, right?
No.
Decor. No. Okay. Gotcha.
Am I Thanksgiving food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I a toy?
No.
Okay.
Can I just like guess?
Yeah.
Am I out if I guess?
No, I already asked her that. No.
Oh.
I mean, we have no more, but he can keep guessing if
Yeah.
you get it right.
Okay. Am I pumpkin pie?
Yeah, you cheated.
I did not.
You cheated.
I
no
would
way.
never
There's
cheat.
no way.
I would never cheat.
There's no way. All right.
Yes.
You saw it.
I deserve it. I did not see it.
Am I
I hope you never guess this.
am I associated with Christmas?
Yes.
Am I something you would give as a gift?
No.
Okay. Am I mistletoe?
No.
Am I? It's hard.
He's not going to guess it.
You have 3 more questions.
Oh, okay.
Better make him good.
Let's see. Am I a type of weather?
Oh. You
Ooh,
are
okay.
associated with weather.
Okay. Am I a snowman?
What kind?
Frosty.
No.
What?
So close.
So close.
Am I a
This is your last one. This is your last
Okay.
chance. This is your last chance. You better make it real good.
abominable?
No.
What other kind of snowmen are there? Frosty and the abominable.
What is the snowman that tends to show up around Lifegate staff and church for different
what
events?
is his name? I thought it was Frosty.
No. He's a little different.
What am I?
He is
Olaf?
No,
Or what's his name?
he
From the movie?
he is a cousin to Frosty, but he's not kind.
Oh, yes.
He's
what
a
does
little,
he call him? Krusty?
What?
Krusty? No.
Krusty.
What does he call
rhymes
him?
with Krusty.
Feisty. Oh, my gosh. I forgot his name. Sean's never going to forgive me.
Oh, that was great.
That was a good one, Jordan. Feisty the
You
snowman.
deserved that one for how the first one played out because you cheated.
I did not.
Okay.
Yep.
You hold to that.
I will. It's truth.
Wow. Okay. So this is our last season.
Yes.
Our last season. No.
Our last show of the season.
Our last show of the season. We're going to wrap it up before the holidays because we know people's lives get busy. And we, since we've been spending a lot of time on like questions that people ask, we thought we would kind of do some rapid fire. Joran's got some questions for us. Maybe not rapid fire, but like we'd answer some questions.
Yeah.
But then kind of wrap up the season talking about how to end the year well and maybe even how to begin next year well. I think that's important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. First question.
All right,
you
the
got?
first one is, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, wow. So
I don't
early for
believe in
that.
New Year's resolutions.
You don't?
I mean, not in the traditional sense, I don't think. Do you?
I mean, I don't. I think I like to think into some things that I want to pursue next year.
Here's why I feel like resolutions feel very, it's like a goal or like, I don't know, too inattainable in some ways. I think I've switched more to like maybe different habits that I want to have.
Habits and rhythms. I'm
Yeah,
the same
more
way.
like
Yeah.
rhythms. But you asked
Do
if
you
we
have
have
any?
any.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've thought yet about it. I have been thinking about what my Bible plan is going to be. The problem is I started my current Bible plan this year so late in the year that it's probably going to go, but I'm bound and determined. I think I'm going to try to catch up, like get ahead.
Nice.
So I can try to finish. So I'm still working on what my Bible reading is going to be. I honestly I wish I could have better answers for this question, but I
Yeah.
don't.
I've been thinking into, so I did Bible in a year this year, the chronological Bible in a year, which has been good. But I'm ready to move away from that. So I'm looking at doing something different next year. There's a new Bible that's going to be released called the Lectio Divina Bible.
I saw that.
And so I'm curious to know what
John
that.
Mark Comer
Yeah, I'm curious to
helped put
like
that
get
together.
a peek inside of that and see if it's something I might want to do.
It reads like a book.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't. I read. It doesn't have like, what is it? Chapters or verses at all. I don't even think chapters,
Yeah,
which to me is hard. I need stopping points. I don't know.
kind of reference points. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I might do that. I do actually have a goal for next year.
Oh, what's that?
I can't say it publicly. I'm not ready to say it publicly.
Oh.
I haven't even told you yet. So
No,
I'll
you
tell later.
haven't.
It just came to me yesterday, and I'm trying to decide, was it the Lord or was it me? So
But
I'm sitting
you're
on it
not
for
saying
now.
it publicly, but you kind of are right
Well,
now.
to say that she asked, do you have anything? And you talked about goals, and I do have something kind of emerging.
Okay.
But I'm not ready to divulge just yet.
Okay, well, you'll have
maybe
to
in a
tune
future
in
episode.
to
not a secret.
next season.
It's not a
to
secret.
find
So
out.
I'm just not ready to say it yet. So maybe later.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything just yet either. But I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it.
It's great.
But not resolutions, more like habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
This is you kind of touched on this, but do you have any books that you are looking forward to reading in the new year, or
okay.
Oh man.
devotionals, or
I just yesterday in my office set aside a stack for the coming month or so. So it's not quite the new year. It's still like finishing up some books that I hope to get read this year. So there's a leadership book called Canoeing the Mountains that for like 2 years, a friend of mine who took leadership of his church a couple years ago, similar situation to us, like he succeeded from a former pastor, has been saying this is a great book to read.
Okay.
So I'm going to read that. It's called Canoeing the Mountains. I'm trying to remember what else is on my list. I'm a stack right now. I'm blanking.
Do you have any for next year?
Remaking the World. Do you remember Remaking the World? The guy who spoke, Andrew Wilson, who spoke at the Think conference about kind of the distinctive characteristics of Western culture. Weird.
Oh wait, was he British? Yeah.
I want to read his book.
Yeah, he was fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait to read that.
Okay. Do you have anything fun?
I'm still reading that one. I'm still reading this one that's 1,000 pages, and I'm probably 100 into it. It's one of those like mid. I don't even know the name of it because I read it on Kindle and I haven't seen the cover of it in so long. But it's like set in the Middle Ages, and it's like a monk trying to help a town survive.
1,000 pages.
It's 1,000 pages. You don't remember when I downloaded it? I was like, do I want to do this or do I not?
That is commitment.
Yeah.
Because it takes a long time to get to any sort of like interesting. Well, I mean, there's interesting points along the way, but I mean, like a climax.
There's a lot of storylines.
Oh, okay.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Can you read multiple books at once, or do you have to stick with one and then you can move on?
If I'm reading for a particular purpose, I can read multiple at once, but I'll usually have like a fiction book that I go very slowly through, and then one other book I'm learning from that I just focus on, and then the next.
Wow, we are so different.
We are
so different.
Reading habits are very different.
Okay, so I'm on Goodreads, and I can tell you right now where I am in my journey of how many books I have, because I have a book goal that I want to hit every year. What's your book goal for this year? Well, that's what I'm trying to, I don't remember. I thought I was being pretty conservative with my book goal this year because I don't think I hit mine last year. Oh, I'm not even close.
This is a last year. This sounds like a resolution.
Oh, maybe a little bit. Okay. A goal. Okay. Last year I read 28 books. This year. These are fictions, or this is all? It's all. Okay. It's all books. This year I have 30 as my challenge, but I'm only on 23. But I'm really close to finishing. So I'm about to finish my devotional. So that'll be another one. And then when I finish the Bible, that counts. That should count for like, how many books are in the Bible? 66. That should count for 66. There you go.
I agree.
Right? When we read the Bible, that should, in a year, that should count for. It's a library. It's a library. I'm going to count it. Then I'm going to like kill my goal. No, but most of these are probably fiction, which is the difference from you and me, because I like buzz through my fiction books and then I go slow through like reading, like learning type books, because I want to like slowly take those in. Yeah, that's true. So, wow. So do you have a goal for next year? I haven't set my like book reading goal. 30 feels like a good round number. I know that's what I set for this year. So I always want to like amp it up, but I don't know if I'll be able to be honest. Our lives are very full. I'm learning. So I'll probably hit about the same, or I'll try to do about the same. Right. But it's good. I do have a lot of fiction books on my list that I want to read. Do you want to name one for people that people should consider? Ooh, I don't know. Or is that going to take too long to find? No, I have my list right here. Okay, go ahead. The one you read this summer that you raved about, the Iranian. Oh gosh, there is an author I love. Yeah. She just put her second book out, and it's about Persians or Iranians. And her name is Marjan Kamali. It's probably like Marjan Kamali. But the last one was The Lion Women of Tehran, and it was so good.
There you go.
That one was really good.
recommend.
And then Remarkably Bright Creatures was also one of my top.
Nice.
So I have some
Okay.
other ones that I want to read, but
It's great.
yeah,
Cool.
that's good. That's it.
Do you have a favorite moment or topic from this season?
Oh, wow.
That's a good one.
Favorite
Oh gosh, I gotta think
topic.
back. We talked about a lot of things.
I think the most memorable to me, just because it's on the top of my mind, because we made it through, was the election. And that whole season. I'm just grateful that we've kind of gotten through all of that.
Yeah.
And so I think that was something that stood out to me, was trying, I know it was just one episode, but trying to help people navigate the complexity of that time.
I think that was good. It wasn't my favorite, I think, because it just felt more stressful. It felt like
Yeah.
this is what everyone's thinking about, and we need to engage that conversation. And
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it. Which
Yeah.
that's reality right here. I think for me, was it this season we did 2 episodes? Because I do not remember how long this season has been. If we did the episode when we came back from Serbia, was that this season? That may have been
yeah.
last season.
No, I think it was this season.
I cannot remember.
Also, confusing them.
I know. I can't remember. I feel like it wasn't. I feel like that was last season. But this is similar. So like when we came back from Europe, similar to when we came back, same thing. It was Europe, but more Eastern Europe, Serbia. When we get, because I love to travel, because I love other cultures so very much, anytime we get bigger perspective on what God's doing globally, what the church is known for throughout the world in different parts of the world, what you see God doing, what you see leaders doing, and kind of get outside of your bubble, especially our American church bubble. I love when we can talk about that, because I like hearing that from other people, like other podcasts or other leaders that even if I follow on Instagram, I try to find more people who are global, like global pastors or leaders, because I think it's helpful for people to know what God's doing
really is.
everywhere, because he's not just the God of the American church. Sometimes we forget that. And we get so focused on our small part of the world, which has a very big global impact. I understand that. But when we get outside of that and see what God's doing around the world, it is just, I think it's inspiring.
Yep.
It's inspiring to us, and I have such a passion to want to share that to others. So it's always fun to get to talk about that for other people.
That's good. Those are good conversations.
That's mine.
Yep.
Awesome. This one is more geared towards Christmas. So you obviously have kids.
Yes.
And as they've grown, how has Christmas changed?
Whoa,
The season,
yeah.
the stress maybe?
Oh, that's
does that
a
look
really good question.
Yeah, I can say a lot of things about this.
I know.
I think early on with kids, you're like so ready for them to like get excited about the magic of Christmas and the gifts and all of that. And when they're really, really young, they just wake up and it's just another day. And, they're like, okay, what am I supposed to get excited about? And And then they get it. And they really start to get, and this is just talking about more like Christmas traditions and stuff. And you kind of have to work towards like, all right, this is about Jesus, but also it's gifts and food and all of that also. And kind of growing them in that understanding and perspective. And then we kind of moved into the, like, I think the gifts thing is kind of overplayed right now, and we want to do experiences. So the last 2 years we've done experiences instead of a ton of gifts, and yet our youngest has kind of missed the gift world and just kind of waking up on Christmas morning and having cinnamon rolls and all that. So we've had so many different seasons of how we've done Christmas, which I kind of like. I think there's something about kind of keeping a pulse on kind of where your kids are and where your family is and how you relate with Christmas and being intentional about it in every season. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at, is like with each season, there was a different way that we approached Christmas based on the season of life our kids were in.
I think, first of all, the hardest part, I loved us being I hope, okay, first of all, if you're listening to this with your children, maybe pause because I'm going to out some things.
Yep.
I loved being Santa.
Yeah, you did.
It was my favorite thing.
And the elf on the shelf.
Oh, we did Elf on the Shelf. We still pull him out because it just feels like tradition now. Yeah. So the change of that as they got older was really kind of sad and hard because it takes the magic, like the fun out of it a little bit. But the other thing that I thought about for us that's so unique is we don't have family around us. So our traditions really are just what we have created. So it's kind of like what you said. Every year we got to kind of change things up based off what we felt like was significant for that season or that year. Maybe we were going to go back to Georgia and do something with grandparents or maybe we're going to completely turn the tables now that they're older and we're going to go on a trip and we're going to leave Christmas morning. And so I think the uniqueness of our situation has played into how we do Christmas and how we do holidays and how we do traditions. I think it's really interesting. I think we are more of tradition people than I thought we were because our kids, now that they're older, will say, hey, are we going to do this thing? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think you cared. Like, you act like you do not care about that thing. Like, you act like you don't care about getting in the car and driving around and looking at Christmas lights because you act like that doesn't matter. But then you get down the road and they're like, well, are we going to do it? Well, you seem like you don't care. No, well, no, it's a tradition. Yeah. And when you're older, like, middle school to high school kids start asking, you do realize like the things we did mattered. So the traditions you are starting, even when they're little, even when it feels like it's so hard. I remember some of those traditions, I would like bake cookies with them and let's sit down and read this devotional together. And it is just squirrely and a mess and it's not dreamy and it's not post worthy and it's not like, it's not what you think it's going to be when they're little. But yet you're still instilling something in them that I think when they get older, they do crave and they do want. And now we see that they still want some of those things. Yeah. They want to do some of those things. And I don't know, it matters more than we think it does. So
it does. Yeah.
That's kind of been fun in this season. Yeah.
I think kind of the big maybe encouragement could be for families to just consider like the season of life you're in and be intentional. Be intentional about what, leveraging the season for what matters as a family. And, we learned early on that trying to sit and do devotionals with our kids and little Bible readings, it just was not.
It was too stressful.
It was too stressful. We had to simplify in those seasons. But then there are other seasons where, we really did lean into those types of things. And so, I think just be intentional. Yeah. It's a great season to make the most of.
Yep. Great. That was a great question.
So during this very busy season, do you have advice for anyone who maybe wants to slow down and try to incorporate Jesus and be intentional in that area?
Yeah. Yep. I always find having a specific Advent devotional helps me. I have one that I go back to every single year and I journal in it. Like there's a little spot to journal and I'll put the year and like answer some of the questions. It's only like 3 questions a day. And it's neat to go back and look at kind of the answers I've had over the years. So I really actually have gotten to a place where I look forward to that, like pulling that devotional out for the holiday season and really making that kind of an intentional thing that I do to really slow down and focus on the purpose.
Yeah, that's good. I think too, like there are, I think, ways where we have to kind of resist the current of where our culture is going. Just kind of the busy, shop, do, more holiday events and more gifts and more, and everyone blows their budget and they blow their time budget, their money budget, their energy budget.
That becomes
they
the
just
purpose.
Overly stuff the next 2 months. And so I would say on one hand, don't let the pace and the current and some of the expectations that are often placed on us in our culture to determine how you go through it. And yet, at the same time, I think there is something about leaning into what is available in the season and leveraging it or utilizing it for kingdom purposes.
Right.
And so sitting around, Thanksgiving, sitting around a table with family and friends, like use that as a great opportunity to connect and to share and
good conversation, intentional conversation, intentional questions.
Yeah. Think about questions you want to ask. Think about things about each other's lives that you want to learn a little bit more about. Think about ways to make it fun and connect together as a family or friends, whoever's doing it. And then as you go into the Christmas season, same thing. Like what are the things you can do in the Christmas season on purpose, intentionally, whether it's connecting with your neighbors. So this year you're wanting to do a
little cookie exchange. Trying to work that out.
It feels like, man, where in the world do we have time to do that? And yet we want to connect with our neighbors. It's a great time of year to invite neighbors over for cookies. Yes. And it's normal. Yeah. It's not like it's
an easy time
right.
To
it's just a way to connect with people. So using the season in meaningful ways, but not letting the season just suck the life out of you.
I might say something that it might sound unpopular, and maybe it's coming from because of our what we've experienced not having extended family around. I would say the obligatory, we always get together with family, and maybe it doesn't even feel, it feels like it's an obligation more than life-giving. Maybe think about that. Like, first, if you feel like it's obligatory, go into it with more intentionality, like shift that. Yeah. But then also be okay saying we're not going to do everything because we want to make room for some of these other very intentional things we want to do. Like, I want to connect with my neighbors. I want to do more service during this season. I want to spend more intentional time with my family. I think I've started thinking more of like we've talked about experiences. So last year, I think we bought, do you remember we bought Lego sets, like really intricate Lego sets with our older kids. And we thought, we're going to watch movies and we're going to put together a Lego set. We're not puzzle people, although we'll do puzzles here and there, but we thought our kids still like Legos. Let's put together these intricate Lego sets. It'll take us a couple days, and let's be together doing that. And maybe you do that with friends. Maybe you do that with neighbors. Maybe you become more intentional because you might see your family a lot more, and maybe some of the obligation doesn't need to be obligation. Yes. I don't know. That might have been an unpopular opinion, but anyway.
It's good.
Just a way to look at it. Insightful. Another way to look at it. So
it's great.
Okay.
Awesome. How do you find joy maybe in a season where you're not feeling joy, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I think for the holiday season, there is a lot of people who it becomes a struggle. I've heard that from a lot of people. No, because your dad died right before Christmas. And I know there have been times we've been concerned about your mom, making sure she has things going on in that season. So for a lot of people, the holidays can be a reminder of something more tragic or painful. And so it is hard to find joy for some. I think you just have to seek it out. Get outside of yourself and your situation and the state, okay, this is approaching. This can be really hard for me. I need to put some things in place, find some things that I love and enjoy, some people I know will bring life to me, and put those in place so that I don't fall into kind of this depressive season instead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think too, having, I think, yes, community is important. Not being isolated is kind of what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, being intentional of what you're putting in that season, if you know the season can be painful. And
then I would add to that gratitude. I think it's just such a powerful force in our lives. There's always something to be grateful for, and that's not to diminish the things that are hard, but it is to broaden our perspective so we can see the whole picture. A lot of times when we're struggling to find joy, it's because we've fixated on something that's disappointing or difficult. And it's not to say that thing was not disappointing or difficult, but that thing happened in the context of other things going on in your life that are worthy of a level of gratitude. And so it broadens our perspective to be grateful. And I think it's one of the cool ways to think about the stair step of Thanksgiving into Christmas is, to enter into the holiday season with a real heart of gratitude. And then as you enter into Christmas, whether it's, I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas, or I don't have what they have, or it reminds me of, a lost family member or a loved one who passed away in the year or something like that. The stage being set for gratitude can kind of help you get through.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah.
I think also with this, I think a lot of people, I know I do this, of like, this becomes a season of comparison, right? We're on social media. We're seeing what everyone else is doing for the holidays. And you can easily kind of compare, and it can steal your joy. And so I think maybe take a break from social media. Maybe focus in on just the people around you and the things God has for you. And remember that your joy isn't coming from the specific things the holiday brings, but our joy is always beyond our circumstances. It's always beyond a season. It's always in the Lord, no matter what the circumstances or the season hand us.
Yeah.
And so I think that helps us kind of ground us that the holidays aren't what bring us joy, though it can. There are things about the uniqueness of the holidays that a lot of us love. Good food, more family time, Christmas lights, like small little things that you can find joy in, but that ultimately, no matter what the season, no matter what the circumstance, our joy isn't found in any of that.
Yep. That's so true.
Yeah.
I've heard it said that happiness is an emotion, but joy is a perspective.
That's good.
And I think that kind of speaks to that. So, yep.
I know I believe it was last season, we did an episode on consumer culture.
Yeah.
So how does that come into play during Christmas time? How can you avoid falling into that and placing your identity in materials?
Yeah. It's great.
I think getting off social media is really helpful.
Yeah.
All the ads, listen, we are suckers.
Yeah, we are.
You are.
I know. I am.
Good
marketing always gets me.
The perfect marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. Person.
Victim.
Yes. That's the way to say it.
Target. A couple thoughts. I think, can I just mention a couple extremes? To me, the extremes in my perspective, and I don't say extremes is like super negative, but is either you just blindly just go where culture's taking you. And you just purchase, and whatever your kids want, you buy it, and whatever you want, you find a way to get it for yourself. And what is the joke that the amount of money that people spend on themselves on Black Friday eclipses the amount they spend on others. And so to me, it's like you can just kind of blindly go into the season and let the current of the culture just drive you into consumerism. And then you come out the other side and none of those things made you as happy as you wanted them to. And you're in debt and you feel a little bit kind of empty at the end of the month. And then it becomes, what else can I get or buy? Or the other side, which is you so resist it. And this has kind of been the theme of today as we've talked about these things. You so resist it that you don't lean into the beauty of the season, because it really is a beautiful season and there's great opportunities. Everything can be an opportunity leveraged for kingdom purposes if you think about it. And so there's some people, it's a great thing to do. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing to do.
We've just taken it way beyond.
So, the other extreme would be to just like shut it all down and not even like engage what's going on. And so I think there's somewhere in the middle where, you could do, practically speaking, like set a budget and just say, that's what we're going to get. And, if there's things
we try to do.
And if there's things outside of that you want, but they don't fit your budget, you'll be glad on January 1st that you said no to those things, and you won't be any less happy that you didn't get those things. And so I think that's a very practical thing to do. Also think like there's something about the way you give gifts to create the space to make it intentional, where it truly is something you want to give this person to bless them. And to your point about kind of obligatory family meetings, rethink the obligatory gift giving.
Yes. I can't stand it.
If it's just obligatory, if it's just like, well, we have to give them a gift because they gave us a gift last year, or they have to give them a gift because our whole family, maybe have the courage to like have a conversation about that,
Yeah.
a loving conversation to say, do we need to really keep doing this?
Right.
Or do we, I remember one year, a friend of ours shared that instead of a gift exchange,
with like
I think they did
siblings or
this.
something.
They did like a word. They gave each other a word.
Yeah,
like
they did.
They felt like this is God's word for you next year. This is how I see you or something. And that sounds so different, but they're a huge family. And instead of everybody buying everybody
so
gifts,
expensive.
they did something like, and she talks about that as like, it was such a meaningful night for them.
It stirs great conversation.
Yeah.
It opens our hearts to one
Yeah.
another over just a gift that we're going to move along from.
There's a lot of ways to bless people that doesn't involve spending a lot of money all the time. So those are my thoughts. What do you think?
I think it's really hard to fight consumerism in this season.
Yeah.
It starts so early. All the ads,
so early.
the magazines that come in for our kids with full of toys. Like I remember getting those as a kid, and then when they started coming for our kids, I would be like, okay, I kind of want them to look at it so I have an idea of what to get them, but I don't want them to go circle everything like you did as you were a child.
I couldn't get enough.
And get that in their hearts that that is what they get, especially from Santa. And so there's this tension of that because I do like a good deal. And I do enjoy shopping in the holidays. It's all the stores are set up so fun. You go get your fun holiday drink and you go shop around at stores that are usually decorated really beautifully. There is something to that that's kind of like fun, but it can get over the top. So I think for me, a lot of it is getting off social media or media in general, taking good breaks to reset and remember that you don't need all the things that they're pushing towards you. All the influencers who have all their Christmas lists already, like we don't need all of that stuff. You don't need it. And then I think I like what you said. You know me, I don't like obligatory gifts and I don't like someone just giving me their list, but also I want to inspire someone. So I do make a list and give it to you guys and the kids, but I also want it to be inspired. Like I want to know that they thought of me and wanted to do this for me.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a big gift person. I want an experience.
You're not.
I want time together and I want an experience.
Yeah.
So for us, the biggest shift away from that consumerism was we're not going to do a bunch of gifts with our kids as they got older, and we're going to take a trip together. And that has shifted a lot, and we've made some really great memories.
Yeah, we have.
So
it's good.
I feel like we could have a whole nother conversation about this.
It's a battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's all.
Oh, that's
Okay,
it.
nice. Those
that
are
was a
great
good one to end
questions.
on. But I think it's good to wrap up too with like, how do we want to end the year? We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, I think
like,
we've hit a lot of the things I was going to say.
we want to end the year thoughtful and intentional.
Yep.
And I think you can do that in the holiday season. You have to slow down to be thoughtful. But then I think it's good to start thinking about next year.
Yep.
Right? To prepare our hearts for maybe something else that God has for us next year. And you've got to start thinking about it now because the holidays will come in, it'll get so busy. And if you aren't thoughtful of what's my Bible reading going to be like, what rhythms and practices, maybe you don't Sabbath regularly and you want to bring that in, think ahead of how do you want to incorporate that. It doesn't have to start January 1, but it is a natural turnover time for us to think differently.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe as you look into the holiday season, go ahead and think about the times or days or afternoons or whatever that maybe are freed up for you, whether it's days you're taking off or space you want to create for yourself, and intentionally use that time to think into next year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this season is so full that we, don't take time to reflect back and be grateful for either what God did or what we learned or how we grew throughout the year or the people around us.
True. I love that.
And then taking some time to think forward. And so I think, having some, and this is kind of what I did yesterday, creating my little book stack for the next 6 weeks was just a way to say, hey, I want to be really intentional in this kind of threshold moment of life where I can look back a little bit and where I can look forward a little bit, but I've got to create the time to do that.
Yeah. And time is something it feels like none of us have anymore. Yeah. So we have to carve it out.
And it might feel counterintuitive to think the holiday season doesn't give you any more time. It gives you less time. And we totally get that. We have the kids and the programs and the end of the year things, and we get all of that. But I think if you can get intentional now about what the next month is going to look like or so before the end of the year, you can find some windows to let God speak to you, to reflect, and to look ahead. And I think at the end of the holiday season, those will be some of the times that you're most thankful for.
I agree. I think that's good.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on season 3 of When We Walk. It's been so great to be with you. Hopefully it's been a good and encouraging season for y'all. And hopefully y'all have an amazing end to the year. And we'll see you next time around.